Hey team, I'm back again with module number 9. Another exciting module. I think that you guys are going to get a lot out of this one. If I were you, I would stop everything that I'm doing right now to pay close attention on some of the things I'm going to say. It's been highly regarded as one of the greatest moves or transitions in real estate of all time. Let me say that again. It's being regarded, this next movement of software is regarded as one of the most strategic, most innovative, and the most, let me use this word, the most obvious paradigm shifts of all time. That's the best way I can put it. All right, and if you guys know anything about a paradigm shift, I'm going to go over what that is and why I came up with that terminology. It's one of the most powerful transitions that we've ever seen in the real estate game. And you all know that this is a game, okay? Real estate is a game, just like basketball or hockey or soccer or golf. It is a sport, it's a game. There's certain, there's rules of the game that you have to go by. When I say a sport, I just simply mean it's an activity. It's, people are making billions and trillions of dollars are being funneled through real estate daily, weekly, and monthly. But there's a game to be played. You have to play by the rules of that game. Or, if you're in basketball, if you don't play by the rules of the game, you get kicked out of the game, or there's a foul, or you get ejected, or you could get suspended, and you don't make money, right? Because if you're not playing, you're not making any money, right? Well, that's how real estate works. It's a game that's being played, and you guys need to be up on it. You need to know what's going on, and I felt it's very important for me to share this with you, because if I didn't share this with you in this 12-part module, I wouldn't be doing you justice, okay? But I'm telling you right now, software is a tremendous revolution. It's changing the way real estate is being done. And if you're from the old school, sure, you can still remain a very wealthy person if you decide not to really get involved in software. Because if you lay the foundation right, you own a ton of properties, you're in the buy and hold part of it. You own several multifamily properties and portfolios and all that, like Donald Trump and the older guys way back. That wealth is still going to be there. You'll be able to transition it over to the younger people. And, it's not going to hurt you very much. However, there are the younger guys that are coming out, 25, 35, 45, men and women that are taking over because of software. They're taking it to another whole level. And you're going to want to transition, because I would say 20 to 30 years from now, if you don't transition to what's going on now, you could be extremely left behind. And so I urge you, I'm counseling you as your mentor to get on board with what's going on. Let me just tell you this. This is what's going on. I heard this about several months ago. This is a true story I'm going to tell you. Well, it's a true event that's taking place right now. Many of you guys know a lot about Zillow, okay? Zillow, a lot of people go online, they go to Google and they type in a property and Zillow comes up. And Zillow has taken a lot of criticism because, their comps are not good. Their comps are off, and there's certain things about their, some of the stuff's not updated. It's old. You look at a property, and it comes up being worth $1 million, and after you do the due diligence and all that, it's worth only $800,000, right? Well, here's the thing with Zillow. Zillow has figured out something. They're getting a lot of traffic, and what they decided to do, and I saw this on one of the on a channel, one of the money channels, about 3-4 months ago. They had their CEO on there, and he was talking. He said, right now we're not doing a really good job of the way our software works. He said, because our comps are off. And he said, I'll admit that we could do a better job there. But he said, we're working on some technology right now. He said, we're putting millions of dollars into this thing where you'll be able to get on your laptop, not your laptop, pardon me. You'll be able to get on your cell phone, your iPhone or whatever, and you'll be able to click a button, pull up a property, put in an offer by clicking a button, have the offer submitted, click another button, submit the appraisal, click another button, put down the EMD, click another button, wait to see if the offer is accepted, click another button, sign the paperwork virtually right there on your cell phone, click another button, and make the purchase. Everything virtually on a cell phone. That's where they're going with this. Guys, this is definitely a paradigm shift. It's almost, if you back up 15, 20 years, when Steve Jobs in the 90s said, The day will come where laptops will be obsolete. That's what he said. He knew the power of when he created the iPhone, where it was going to go. And right now, guys, if we did away with laptops, we wouldn't lose our mind because everything's being done on the phones. You know, you have these big phones, you have small phones, right? iPhone, they got the iPad or the iPhone, and they have other big phones that are so big, they're just like little computers. And that's what's going on here. You know, real estate's going to be so where it's just, you click a button and everything's done online. And that's all because of software development. The guys that are behind that. Now, for me and my team, we're part of this paradigm shift because I have software developers on my team, people that I know, and I'm wise enough. I've learned this, and I'm not bragging about myself, but I'm just saying, letting you know. And all of you who are listening would be wise to invest in getting good software to help your business run more on autopilot and to help put you put you ahead of the learning curve, not in the middle of it, ahead of it. Software helps you do that. And so with me having this conglomerate that I'm putting together, we're proud to say we're part of that. Every visionary or every man or woman that comes up with a brilliant idea, they're a trailblazer, they're an entrepreneur and a visionary. The ones that truly understand how vision works are willing to transition to the new thing. And guys, if you want to take your business to the next level, you want to be a legitimate millionaire in the 21st century or billionaire, you have to be able to transition. You can't hold on to your old way of doing things. Sure, you can you can make a ton of money and still stay old school and do what you can do very well. But the danger is if something goes wrong where the old methods are not available anymore, then you stand the risk of losing the same strategy. Not strategy, that's not the right word. You lose the foundation that you had before because that foundation begins to shrivel away because now everything's transitioned to something else. And you don't have the same, you can't really monopolize, you can't really control, your financial empire that you built because people are turning to something else. They may leave what you've done and start going other places. Now, if you own those properties, again, the majority of the wealth in most cases, you'll be able to kind of at least maintain some of it, but the probability of you maintaining all of it will be slim. It won't be the same because again, people are changing and going to the next greater thing. And that's what software is all about. And I'm going to go over this right now in the most simplest way that I can. But again, some of the old school people don't want to modify anything. They want to keep it the same way. Kudos to you guys, but you stand the risk of when you don't transition, you can lose out on the next thing. All right. Another example of that, many, many years ago, Warren Buffett, you guys know who Warren Buffett is. Warren Buffett took a look at Amazon. He had the opportunity many years ago to buy tons of stock in Amazon. He took a look at it and he said, you know what? This is not going to work. I can't see Amazon being anything great in 20 years. Boy, was he wrong. You guys know the richest man in the world right now as I'm doing this, as I'm making this, April 30th, 2019, the richest man on the planet right now is Jeff Bezos, the owner and founder of Amazon.com. And he went into bankruptcy, lost a lot, but he stuck with it. And his shares back in the day were, you can get them pennies on the dollar back in the day. And now a share would cost you over $1,000 today, one share. And he's one of the first $1 trillion companies on the planet. So the ability to see in the future is very, very important. As great as Warren Buffett was, he missed that one. So I'm telling you guys, don't miss this, okay? So I'm not going to be long, but I just wanted to put the main part about what I'm going to share with you is for you to get it in your mind, to get a mindset. I always talk about having the right mindset about a thing. And that's why I took time to go over this first part of, you got to get it in your mind that software is the new thing. And it's causing people to get a lot more done with a lot less time, all right? It's a paradigm shift, guys, okay? And you may ask me, how do I know that, okay? Let me just give you a couple examples. Do you guys remember Blockbuster Video? Wayne Heising out of Miami, he was the one who started that. And Blockbuster said, you know what? We're going to always be around. And I believe that Netflix approached them right before Netflix went big and asked Blockbuster to buy them out. Blockbuster denied them. Said, you know what? We got it made here. We got these DVDs, we got Blu-ray and all that, we're good to go. They could not see that everything was moving to online. They couldn't see that live streaming, videos and movies and so now it's even more live streaming, but the big thing at this time was streaming movies online. They couldn't see it. Long story short, they went out of business. Netflix took over. Okay. Another one. This is a pretty obvious one here. Back in the early 1900s, 1800s, late 1800s, everybody was loving, to have their horses. Horses was one of the primary transportation methods, right? The carriages and all that. But automobiles came on the scene. Henry Ford, and there was another gentleman at that same time who started coming up with all these, the T model and all the cars and everything. And guess what? We still have horses today, but horses are not the major engine that cranks up daily. It's the car engine. It's not the horse. And that industry just took off, and it hadn't looked back yet. Another example, typewriter. When I was in high school, I was still learning the typewriter. We're talking back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I never thought that the computer would take the whole, the entire, would replace the laptop, would replace the typewriter, laptop and computer. And it did, because, with a typewriter, you make certain mistakes and then you had to go back and erase those mistakes, but the computer came along and you just edit the mistake and you modify the word. And now we have spell checker, right? It's a transition. It's a transition. Okay, the paradigm shift is a transition, all right? And you have to be able to see it, and it's a major shift. In fact, let me just look up the definition for you so you guys can hear it for yourself, okay? Hold on one second. Paradigm, oh, there it is right there. It's past it, right? There it is. Let's read it. A fundamental change in approach or underlying assumptions. Let me read that again. A fundamental change in approach or underlying assumptions. So you modify, you shift the change, you shift and do it differently, basically, is what you're going to do. All right. And that's all I wanted you guys to see, which is powerful. And that's exactly what happened. All right. The dictionary. Okay. I'm old school. My dad used to tell me, hey, listen, pick up a dictionary, read, pick up an encyclopedia and read. Right. But guess who put a stop to that? Google, guys. Dictionary to Google. If I need to know something, all I do is I go to google.com, right? Good old Google, right? If I want to know anything about hair, I just type in hair, right? Well, there's a lot of content here, but you go down here, there's Wikipedia. Look at that, guys. Anything I need to know about hair is right there. I didn't have to go open up a big book and try to figure all that stuff out. So you get my point, right? Well, let's get into software. All right. Now, and I'm not going to knock and say all these bad things about driving for dollars and all the old methods. I won't do that. All right. I won't do that. But what I will tell you is you need to be strategic nowadays. Now that you know what to do, you know that software works. You want to go and get all the information on all the products and services that's going to help your real estate business run like an engine. All right. Now, capturing leads is another whole methodology that I talked about on another video. If you're trying to build a lead system and a sales funnel, that's an engine in itself. But the other side of real estate is actually getting the property, locating the property, finding the property, find out who owns the property, putting it under contract, finding the end buyer, getting the deal done, or buying and holding, or wholesaling, which is the first part of that. When you buy, you put it under contract, assign it to someone else. All those things work together, analyzing the deal, getting good. And the thing is, you have to have, there's software for all of these things. All right. Here are the most important ones that I've noticed with my students and with myself. All right. And I think that if you get these, if you understand this, you get this revelation, guys, you're going to be okay. All right. Ringless voicemail software. All right. And in this video, for the sake of time, I'm not going to get into too much of who's doing what, which companies that I recommend. Again, Google is going to be your best friend. All right. Just go right here. If you want to find who has the best ringless voicemail software, basically it's software that does automatic dialing for you. when you get, they actually have some companies, and you see, I type that in here and you see all these companies come up. You go in there, you just do your due diligence here, okay, guys? But some of the companies, they'll offer you a promotion, not a promotion, but they'll tell you how many they'll call for you. They'll call 1,000 for you for X amount of dollars, and these are to the leads that you provide them, or sometimes they provide leads for you. It all depends on what company you use. And, it's automatic. So they can dial out, the software dials out 1,000 times, and you don't have to be dialing yourself. It's going to save you time. That's the most important thing about software. Software is going to save you time. It's going to save you energy, and you can scale your business. That's the key. You can scale your business when you do it. So ringless voicemail software is a really, really good one. Again, basically it's a software that actually goes and dials your clients and contacts them, and you want to structure the ad, structure, what you want to say. Sometimes it's a pre-recording. You have to record your own voice, and you'll say something like, hey, my name is Jimmy. Listen, I'm interested in your property. Please call me back if you want to sell, or something like that. It all depends on what you want to do. But anyway, you duplicate, you multiply your productivity with these softwares. So you got one guy over here, he only has 3 or 4 hours in a day because he works 7, 8 hours a day. He can only call for 2 hours a day. He can probably get 100 or 200 calls a day done. When you can click a button and do 1,000, who's going to have the upper hand? Your productivity is 5 times as much as his because you have software. Here's the key, guys. You use software as if they're employees. All right. So if a software dials out 1,000 times, that's like having 10 employees making 100 phone calls for you. Now, if you had to hire 10 employees to make that many phone calls, you're going to spend a lot more money. So this methodology works great. All right. I highly recommend you doing some due diligence on it. Second method, skip tracing software. Okay. So this is really good if you get property from a list or something like that, and you need phone numbers, or you want to find out who the owner is, and you don't have time to go, to go out to the courthouse, and or you just don't have time to do all the due diligence on each individual, because sometimes I get lists for 3,000 and 4,000 addresses. Guys, I don't have that kind of time. I let the software do the work. Now I do have an individual that does it. I have a couple of guys that do it themselves, but again, they're from the old school, so it takes them a lot more time, and there's something wrong with it. The problem is, like I said before, you can't multiply your productivity. You got to beat the competition. You don't want to be in the middle or in the back of the competition. I say this over and over again. You get lost somewhere in the middle. You need to be ahead of it. So there's certain skip tracing softwares, that can go and dissect that information, get you the name, get you the phone number and all that with a click of a button. I'm snapping my fingers now just to let you know how easy it is. Guys, this stuff works, and your productivity shoots through the roof. All right. And another video, one of the previous videos, I talked a little bit about, being an affiliate marketer of these products. So you can find good products like this, and you can promote them and sell them all day long, and resell them back because they work really, really well. Okay, they work super well, and they work good for, you have other people on your team that are around you that can use these products, but you are the main person. If you want to scale and make more money and get more deals done and set yourself apart, you're the guy, you're the man or the woman that's going to want to use these different techniques. Okay, again, Google is your best friend. All right. Skip tracing software. Let me just type it in here for you. There it is. It comes up. All right. There you go. Data Finder. I'm not saying this is one of the better ones, and I don't give out names or anything like that because I want you guys to do your own due diligence. Now, what I will do is, if you're in my private group, I know some software developers right now. We're working on some things. I have certain products and services that I sell myself, that I have myself, that I refer, that I actually connect my students to. But for the sake of time, and so I'm generalizing everything this way because I want you guys to do the homework on it so you make the educated decision, okay? Here's another one here, skip tracing. See that? 10-day risk-free trial, $79 per month. There's so many things that you can do, all right? And again, when you employ these systems, you know, they're like, I don't want to say robots, but they're actually virtual assistants for you. They're doing work for you while you're sleeping. All right. Now here's one I can talk a little bit more about: software to pull comps and analyze deals. Now, and then the last one here, software that finds, let me just highlight both of these, that finds good off and on market deals. Every deal, guys, don't have to be off market, by the way. Some people, there's a myth of, oh, the property has to be off market because the profit's better. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a great deal. And just because it's on market doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad deal. Let me say that again. Just because it's off market doesn't make it a golden deal. Just because it's on market doesn't mean it's a deal breaker. Either way, you can still make money, right? But this kind of software is probably the most powerful that I've been watching, I've been noticing in the industry. There is a software, and I know the owner personally. I know him. His name is Benton Warheads. He's a good friend of mine on Facebook and otherwise. I've done webinars with him. He's a great guy, all right? But he has a software called the Privy software, and I promote it. I use it myself, and about 15 of my students use it right now, all right? And here it is right here. Now, this is my landing page, and another video I'll talk to you guys about how to build a nice cutting-edge landing page. This is one of mine, and here's another one. So you can see the backgrounds are the same. The only thing that's different is the content, all right? It's a cutting-edge software that pulls comps and finds hot, up-to-date, off-market properties. Now, most of the properties that are on here are, since he changed the way the system's set up, because these properties that are on here, he gets, basically the guy who created this, he built it to have access to the MLS. So it's pulling properties from the MLS. So most of the properties are really not on market, they're not off market. They're on market. However, there are some off-market properties. You have to really look hard for them. They do come up. But this property, this system pulls from the MLS. But this property, this particular software is revolutionary, guys. And this is what I'm talking about. So let me just give you an example. This is me here. You'll hear me talking here.
And I do a lot of training, and you guys know that I do a ton of different types of fix and flips. I do acquisitions, development, all types of real estate. Me and my team, we do it. But I'm bringing this little informational video to you today because I've stumbled across this very, very, very powerful, cutting-edge software. And this software is invented by a guy and his entire team. His name is Benson. It's a good friend of mine. Benson Warheads. You can find him on Facebook. He's a good friend of mine. He's in my...
Okay, so I don't have time to listen to all of that, but I wanted you guys to see what this software looks like. Basically, the software goes in and it pulls... it shows you the areas. Let me just show you this really quick. Look at this right here. It shows you the areas. Now, guys, this is how you game plan. This is how software is ahead of the curve. If you're in a city, this is the Tampa Bay area, by the way. If you're in a big city, and let's say you live in St. Pete, this part of St. Pete, and you're down here, and you're trying to figure out where the big deals are. Now, you live there. You know the area, right? But you don't know, you don't have access to the MLS. You don't have access to cutting edge software that's going to show you where exactly deals are being done. You live there. Now, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's say you live there, right there in the same, right here in this spot right here, right? Well, if you don't have access to the software that shows you where the deals are, or if you don't know where the deals are, and I have the software, even though I live, 800 miles away, I'm still going to have the upper hand. Even in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm going to have the upper hand on the guy who lives down there in St. Pete. Why is that? Because I have credible information and intel on what's going on in that area. Proof is in the pudding. You see all these little circles here? These are where the deals are being done. So if he's over here in St. Pete down here, there's nothing being done over there, hardly any deals. But just above it, up in this area here and in Tampa, look at all these. Look, there's several properties in there. Let me just make the screen a little bit bigger if I can. I can't make the screen bigger because it's, But my point is, I'm going to have the upper hand is what I'm saying. And that's what software does. It gives you the upper hand. It puts you light years ahead of the guys that are scrambling around going, they're driving for dollars. Now, am I knocking people that do driving for dollars? When you first get started in this business, if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. I don't discourage and disrespect anyone who's hustling, trying to make a living with real estate. I'm not here to do that. What I am here to do is to help you enhance your thinking and get further ahead without the headache. All right. Software is going to take away the headache. But look at this. I would want to know this software shows you, these are some of the other comps that are in the area. It shows you guys what these people bought the property for, what they put it in the contract for. Okay. It also shows you, what the after repair value is going to be in the area and what you can sell it for. And as you're on here, if a property pops up that's for sale, guess who gets to see it first? So not only does it show you how to do the comps real time, it actually shows you good properties that come up. Now, a lot of these properties are still on the MLS. However, you get to see them. You get to right there on the spot, put in an offer for it and send it out to that person and let them, hey, listen, I'm interested in the property. That puts you light years ahead of people that are going door to door. Sometimes you have to go back to the realtor to get, because I have a realtor that I use. She's fantastic, one of my master mentors. She goes, and I pay her to do it. She gets me the real comparative market analysis. When they go and they do the comps themselves and they send it to you via email, you get to see what's what. But I can do it live here on the spot without any problems.
Within a city.
Without any problems. I mean, it's great. This is what you want to do, okay? Isn't that fantastic? Take a look. Look at this. And I want you guys to know that this really, really works. That's what I wanted to share with you. Look at that. You get to see what people bought right here. It's very specific is my point. And that's the power of having software. It's the same thing for the ringless voicemail service, skip tracing software. These are the main ones that people are absolutely crushing it with right now. They're crushing it, guys. You need to think this over. You really need to take some time and figure out how am I going to get a hold of the software. And that's the easy part. Again, whatever software you're looking for, you Google it. If you're on my team, then you can talk to me. Okay, again, go to my website, send me a message. Okay, this admin@jwacquisitionsanddevelopment.com. If you're part of the if you're actually being mentored by me, you're going to go to mentoring@jwacquisitionsanddevelopment.com. Okay, and ask me Jimmie, I'm looking for skip tracing software. Do you have something? So we're still working. I have, and these two, and there's another software that I have here. This is one more software I'm going to cover. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in just a moment. But this is an amazing software here. It's called the Motivated Sellers Autopilot Craigslist software. Okay, it's a software that I use, and I know the software developer himself. He lives in California, and he basically sets up this system for you. He has a software with him in California. He sets it up for you, and all you do is you get the leads when they come in. They come to your email. All right. And if you guys want to know more about it, you will go to Autopilot Motivated Sellers Finder.info. Okay. Autopilot Motivated Sellers Finder.info. And watch the short video there. And, if you want to get a hold of me, you just put your name and email in here. And if you want to get the software, you can get it. But if you're a student and you're paying $99 per month, you don't pay for this software. I actually pay the software developer for you. All right. And you'll start getting the leads of the benefits from it. But what it does is you get to choose 2 cities, and you can choose 2 cities and 5 keywords. So you want to choose the best keywords that are being used right now for that particular city to find. So basically, Craigslist scans this software scans the entire system of Craigslist and looks for property for you. It looks for people that are looking to sell their property for you. And so whenever it finds a lead, someone posts a property they want to sell, guess who gets that information? You get an email. And just watch this little video here that talks about it right here.
I commend you for wanting to do it.
Let's see. That's me talking there. But this is my email here, okay? And that's one of the, basically when the person goes on there, they go to Craigslist, they post a property that they want to sell, guess who gets a message? I do. And this is me here. This is one of the leads. There's more leads in here. Hold on. See? That's me talking about the leads that you get. There's another one. I mean, software takes the hard work out of things that you're doing. That's my point. You want to make sure that you modify your time and structure your time where you get the most out of it. This software has been working for me very, very well. Look at this deal right here. Fixer upper, you know, $85,000 in Atlanta, Georgia. The two cities that I picked, I think it was Dallas, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia. And I get these $40,000 in repairs. And I get these deals all the time. Guys, I get these deals all the time. All right. You want to use software to do this for you. And then what you do is when you get these emails coming in, you contact the seller and make a deal with them and put the property in a contract. Okay. I think you get the idea of what I'm talking about here. You have to have the mind. There's another deal here. You have to have the mindset, pardon me, to want to do this and make money with it, guys. You got to be teachable, coachable, and trainable. Okay. Not just for me, but for yourself. You have to constantly train yourself, coach yourself, and mentor yourself by using the gifts, using all of the resources that you have, YouTube and other, there's other resources to find master mentors, not just with me. You're listening to me now, but when you're done listening to me, there's other things that you can do. But you have to have a mind to learn, is my point. And I would advise that you drop everything this entire month and consider what we just talked about with software, okay? Because it is a revolution, and it's either you're ahead of it or behind it. You don't want to be in the middle of it. All right, I think I've told you guys enough. If you need any help as far as helping find software and what to use, again, contact me. You got my information. Go back and rewind the video. Contact me directly, and I'll see you at the top. Take care. Bye-bye.